Showdown.com, and today we've got our Vitamix 750 Professional Series and the Blendtec Designer Series, and what we're going to do in this video is we're just going to go nuts. Both of these blenders claim to be able to make nut butters, and we're going to find out how well they do. We're going to make an almond butter. If you've gotten organic or natural peanut butters, almond butters at your grocery store, like I have, you know that they're good for you, you know that they're expensive, and in my opinion, they taste terrible. So my wife likes them, but I grew up eating Jif, and if I'm gonna get peanut butter at the grocery store, I can't stay away from the just old classic Jif creamy peanut butter. So one of the reasons we got the Vitamix was to eat healthier. So I'm gonna give it a shot, and I'll see how well it does making an almond butter and see if I like it. All right, let's do this. Okay, so we're not just gonna make almond butter today. We're gonna make coconut almond butter. It's still a really simple recipe. Just sounds cooler. Coconut almond butter. More fancy, why not, right? So it's really simple. Just a little more than a cup of almonds, a little more than a tablespoon of coconut oil, and then we're just gonna put a little bit of cinnamon there for some flavor. And with regards to the oil, you don't have to use oil if you're making almond butter, but I find that the almond butter is just a little chalky, a little grainy without the extra oil. You can use a canola oil or a different kind of oil if you like. We at our house really like the coconut oil. It's a really healthy oil. It's got a little bit of flavor to it, but it's just very, very mild. It's got a lot of uses, so we find ourselves using coconut oil for a lot of different things. This particular oil is Carrington Farms brand coconut oil. You can get it at Costco. I think you can buy it on Amazon. So it's a pretty popular oil. It's worth checking out. All right, so I'm gonna come around the counter and we'll get started. First, we're gonna make it in the Vitamix, and we'll see how that comes out, and then we'll make it in the Blendtec. We'll compare the two. All right, first we're gonna start with the Vitamix, and I'm just gonna show you what we're gonna do with the controls first, and then we'll let you see the actual blender do its work. The Vitamix 750 does have the pre-programmed settings. For this recipe, we're gonna use the variable side. This is manual control, and that's what we want. We want more control with this coconut almond butter, because we're going to run it from the lowest setting 1 slowly up to a 10, the highest setting, and let it work on the almonds by themselves for 2 minutes. The almonds will get to a stage in the blender where they start to release their natural oils, and you'll start to see a more creamy texture. After that 2 minutes, I'll stop the blender, I'll add the coconut oil, and then run it for another 30 seconds. And then we should be where we want to be with the almond butter. Now I have to admit that I did change the recipe a little bit. I ran through this once, just using a little more than a cup of almonds, and this wide base of 750, the blades just quickly moved the almonds out of the way, and so the blades are almost spinning freely. So the almonds, once they were chopped, they weren't processing through the blades. It just didn't work. So I've got 6 cups of almonds left, so we're going to try 3 in the Vitamix and 3 in the Blendtec. So I think with the 3 cups, we should have enough to see it work properly. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the almonds. And I'm going to stick the lid on there and use the Vitamix plunger to keep the almonds moving through the blades. So I'm going to go ahead and start the blender. Okay, so we've hit 2 minutes, and the Vitamix is really doing some work on those almonds. It's already nice and creamy. I can see that as I move the tamper around. I'm going to go ahead and add the oil and run it for another 30 seconds. And just add a pinch of cinnamon for flavor, and because it sounds fancy. And I'm just going to start it at 1 and slowly increase it to 8 for 30 seconds. Alright, now, if everything went according to plan, we've got some nice creamy almond butter. So let's take a look and see how it came out. Alright, so you can see it came out really nice. It's really smooth. It's really creamy. You know, I can't see any pieces of almonds that didn't get turned into butter. It's really smooth. Creamier than I thought it would be. Let's see how it tastes. It's really good. I don't mind it at all. I would eat this on a sandwich, crackers. I'm really happy with the way this almond butter turned out, which is good because we're about to use 3 more cups of almonds. So I'm glad we can keep this and enjoy this almond butter. So really happy with the way the Vitamix did with this almond butter. So thumbs up to the Vitamix. Next we have the Blendtec Designer Series. This is an excellent machine. Like the Vitamix, it has the pre-programmed functions. For this, we're going to use the variable functions. It's just this touch panel here. This is the lowest setting up to the highest setting. So that's how we're going to do this recipe. One thing I do like about the Blendtec Designer Series is it does have a timer built into it, so it'll just help us keep track of how long we're going. One big difference between the two blenders is the container. This Blendtec has a wild side jar here, and this 5th side is what creates what Blendtec refers to as the vortex. It should keep the contents in the container moving down into the blades. For that reason, Blendtec doesn't use a tamper like Vitamix does. However, Blendtec does have a second jar, which is called the twister jar, and it has a mechanism inside that you can turn from the top, and it keeps your heavy contents like your butters and your ice cream scraped off the sides and moving into the vortex, moving into the blades. We're going to go ahead and make this with the wild side. I have a little spatula here, so I anticipate after we run for a minute or two before we add the oil, I'll just use a spatula to make sure we can get all the contents off the side into the blade to run for the final 30 seconds. So the first, we're going to go ahead and add the almonds. Get the lid nice and secure. I'm going to start it at 1, and then I'm just going to slide on up to the highest setting and let it run for, you know, we'll keep it on at maybe a minute, 2 minutes. And so I'm stopping it at 30 seconds because I can already see that the blade has created enough room in the almonds to spin freely. And so I'm going to go ahead and use the spatula now and scrape the sides a little bit. Get the materials back in the blade. And give it a run. Now with the wild side jar, as it's running, you could turn that, and that would do exactly what I'm doing with the spatula right now, which is move your almonds or whatever it is you're blending back into the path of the blades. It's just not, as soon as I started it just makes a path. So try it one more time. So right now it's just very mealy, it's not buttery at all. Rather than the high setting, I'm just gonna do a pulse. It's got a pulse feature here. We'll see if maybe that'll give us more control. It's just not going to do it. So let's go ahead and scrape it. We'll add our coconut oil. And see if that'll give it enough oil to keep it blending. I'm going to add the cinnamon, a little pinch of cinnamon for flavor. And hopefully this will do the trick. Alright, I think that's about as good as it's going to get with the wild side jar. I can really see how having the twister jar would make this job much easier, but it's another jar that you have to get. So let's go ahead and see how it turned out. So here's our Blendtec almond butter. It's very thick. I can turn this upside down and it's not coming out. You know, the taste is there. It tastes fine. I would eat that. But you know, compared to the Vitamix almond butter, this is much smoother, much creamier. I'd much prefer to have this. I mean, I could, if I turn this over, it's just gonna pour it on the counter. It's just a very nice, creamy, smooth butter. The Blendtec tastes good. It's passable. But with the wild side jar, and no way to really keep the almonds and the oil moving through the blades, it just doesn't get as smooth and as creamy as the Vitamix does. In the end, the Vitamix did an excellent job making the coconut almond butter. I'm really happy with the way it came out. The taste is great. It's smooth, it's creamy, it's easy to spread. I can see it going on a sandwich or on crackers, no problem. Anna's gonna love it. My parents will love it. I'm gonna take some to them as a gift. I think you'll love it too. head over to blendersmoothies.com. You'll find the recipe for this coconut almond butter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to see more videos like this. This is Mike with blendersmoothies.com. Thanks for watching. And today we've got our Vitamix 750 Professional Series and the Blendtec Designer Series, and what we're going to do in this video is we're just going to go nuts. Both of these blenders claim to be able to make nut butters. We're going to find out how well they do. We're going to make an almond butter. If you've gotten organic or natural peanut butters, almond butters at your grocery store, like I have, you know that they're good for you, you know that they're expensive, and in my opinion, they taste terrible. So my wife likes them, but I grew up eating Jif, and if I'm gonna get peanut butter at the grocery store, I can't stay away from the just old classic Jif creamy peanut butter. So one of the reasons we got the Vitamix was to eat healthier. So I'm gonna give it a shot, and I'll see how well it does making an almond butter, and see if I like it. All right, let's do this. Okay, so we're not just gonna make almond butter today. We're gonna make coconut almond butter. It's still a really simple recipe. Just sounds cooler, coconut almond butter. More fancy, why not, right? So it's really simple, just a little more than a cup of almonds, a little more than a tablespoon of coconut oil, and then we're just gonna put a little bit of cinnamon there for some flavor. And with regards to the oil, you don't have to use oil if you're making almond butter, but I find that the almond butter is just a little chalky, a little grainy without the extra oil. You can use a canola oil or a different kind of oil if you like. We at our house really like the coconut oil,